Hey guys, Kat Kerr here, and today we're working small. We're going to be using shrink film plastic by Grafix to create a mini assemblage. So today we're using shrink film in white, and I found these wonderful images on Etsy that are made specifically to use with shrink film. I printed them up and cut them out. Now here I'm using some Aqua pens by Marabou to add some color to my girl. I wanted to make sure that I used a marker that was transparent so that I could see the image underneath. Next I add some accents with some gold and white markers. Now that these are ready, I preheated my oven to 300 degrees. The directions say to cover your piece in parchment paper or vellum. I used matte Duralar film underneath and above my piece. The matte Duralar is a perfect way to keep your pieces flat. Once they start curling up in the oven, you can see them starting to curl, but the weight of the matte Duralar prevents them from curling. So once they were flat again, I removed them from the oven and placed a tile on top of them. Now I could have easily added holes before baking my pieces using a paper punch, but I knew that I was going to be using wire for my assemblage, so I wanted to make sure that the hole was not too big. So I ended up using a drill with a 1/16 bit just so that the hole was big enough for the wire and that my piece wouldn't flop around. I also added some loops to the wire just to represent movement. Next, I added some glitter Stickles to the center and just spread it with my finger. I then added some glue to one of the small butterflies and placed it on the little girl. Next, I took a store-bought spool and sprayed it with some distress inks to make it look old. I wrapped it with some Sari ribbon and some string. I also tied all of my little wire butterflies together with some string. I trimmed off the excess and then I added glue to the whole of the spool. I placed my butterflies as well as adding a sticker with the title. Next, I added some tacky glue to the back of the little girl and placed her on the spool. I then added some glue to the top of the spool and added some coconut fibers for texture. Here I'm using a popsicle stick just to push down the fibers. And I'm also adding some glitter so that the glitter adheres to the glue that's on the spool. I finished the piece by adding some seed beads to the spool as well as a little button. I'm really happy with the way this little treasure came out. This video is brought to you by grafixarts.com.